Howdy, my name is Brian Cole and welcome back to another episode of Behind the Vibes. Typically on this channel I focus more around vibraphone technique, performance, and gear. However, today I got something a little different. Today I have the Adams Academy Series Practice Marimba. Now before we begin, I'd like to say two quick things. First, thank you to all my patrons who support me. If you'd like to support this channel, you can head over to patreon.com/BrianKSCole or through the link in the description. Second, I'd like to say that this is my own personal instrument. This isn't something sent to me by Adams or something that they asked me to say. It's just my own thoughts on this instrument. Now with that out of the way, let's get into the video. The Adams Academy Series Marimba is designed to bring high quality percussion instruments to students and other percussionists in a more accessible manner. The series consists of marimbas and xylophones, however today I just have the 3-octave marimba. Now the marimba here today ranges from a C3 to a C6, and the bars are made out of nice Padauk wood. This Padauk wood is the exact same as on the Adams Soloist marimbas, which actually comes in handy later on. The bars are also tuned to 442 Hz, so that might be a small issue if you have other 440 instruments and you have perfect pitch, or anyone in your ensemble or studio or practice space is going to be using this. Now the frame of this instrument is boxier rather than just 2 rails on 2 end pieces like other practice marimbas. This allows it to be a little more resonant, which is a patent pending system that Adams holds, and also allows it to be easily placed on an X frame, which comes with the instrument, as well as on a tabletop, bed, or really anywhere else. Now in addition to the X stand, the marimba also comes with its own mallets, which they're decent mallets, as well as a nice cover for the instrument. This cover is actually quite durable. If you have cats like I do, and they like to get on your instruments, they can't get through this whatsoever. It prevents it from being dinged up as you're carrying it around, maybe hitting on walls, or if you're putting it in the back of your car. Works pretty good at protecting the instrument. Now with the exception of some other mallets that you'll see later on, this marimba comes with everything you see here, and it ranges for around $1,300 US. Now I bought this instrument roughly around 5 or 6 years ago, and I have to say this instrument has held up pretty good. Played with this instrument outside, I've moved 3 times with it, and I'd say there hasn't been any severe damage to the instrument whatsoever. However, despite that, I still have to say that there are a few issues that I've had with this instrument. Now, the first issue I have with this instrument is the weight of the instrument. Now, anyone who's moved a marimba or even just had to take the bars on and off know that they can be incredibly heavy. This instrument is quite difficult to lift if you aren't long-armed like me, or able to lift roughly 40 pounds with ease. So some smaller percussionists, younger students, or even just less able percussionists might have a difficulty getting this instrument set up on an X stand. It should be fine getting it on a table or a bed. It's quite easy to put on there, but to get it right on the X stand takes a little bit of extra effort. It also is a little harder to carry around. Right here, kind of around the second lowest C, we have a handle here. This handle isn't really good to carry on the hands. It can be quite tough. I carry a work glove with me whenever I'm moving it. Makes it a little easier to carry around. Personally, I think it'd be great if Adams could just install another handle or two, either right here, kind of equal distance on either end, so you can hold it with 2 hands, or maybe just an extra one here on the end so it's a little easier to hold on to. That might be a small thing to add that can make this instrument way easier to move around. Now, second issue I have with this instrument is the rails on there. Now, like I said earlier, this instrument has a boxy resonant frame, but it doesn't quite have individual wooden rails as other practice marimbas do. This one consists of the metal box folding upward, creating kind of like an L shape for where the bars can sit. Now, this metal is quite thin. I can grab a pair of pliers, grab onto it, and easily pull it up or push it back down and bend it with very little ease. Now, an issue with that is that if you play harder, or if maybe you banged the instrument on a wall and didn't quite notice, this can bend downward quite easily, which over time, like what happened to me, it can severely affect one of the bars. My high G up here was resting just above this metal bar after it had been bent downwards, and over time it had gradually been slowly chipping into the bar. Now, because it was so gradual, it was something I didn't really notice, and I think just one day it peaked past a point to where the bar completely sounded useless. Had this happen on another bar on the instrument, it isn't quite useless at all, but there's still a bit of tone there. However, on the G, it's quite useless. Here's just a quick sound of how those 2 bars sound. Now, an advantage to that is that these bars, as I said earlier, are the same on the Adams Soloist marimbas, so you can just buy the replacements for those. It'd be great if I didn't need to buy them, but you can if you need to. Now, despite those flaws I just mentioned, I still think this is a great option for percussionists who want either a marimba to practice on in their home studio, in a practice room at a college. Maybe high schools, junior highs, and colleges should actually get a few of these to be able to rent out to their students so that they can practice at home, as not to crowd up the practice rooms too much. Now, obviously, this can't replace a 5-octave marimba in the practice room, especially got a really nice one, but I think this marimba is better than not being able to practice at all. Now, for the sound test of this instrument, I'm going to be using both the mallets that the marimba came with, which are the Adams NB1 successfully playing on Adams instruments, mallets, as well as the Nancy Zeltsman signature mallets graduated series. I think this is just a good idea to get how warm and harder sounding mallets sound across the instrument, and I'll do some rolls in there and some arpeggios, and you'll get a good idea of how the instrument sounds. Alright, there you have it. That is the Adams Academy Series 3-octave practice marimba. Let me know what you think about this instrument down below. Like I said earlier, I think this is actually a great value for younger percussionists and even some professionals who might want a smaller gigging marimba, or even maybe vibraphone players who want to have a marimba for extra sound ideas that they can go play at small bars or even busk with. I think this is a great option. You don't need to be a young student or a beginner to play on this instrument. I think this has a wide range of value for percussionists at all levels. Now, before we go, I'd like to say thank you for watching. If you'd like to see other stuff that I'm doing, you can head over to my Instagram and Facebook, which are both linked down in the description. You can also like and subscribe, check out some of the other videos I've done. I have lots of mallet reviews, and I have some other cool technique videos coming up. Now, as I said at the beginning of the video, if you'd like to help support the channel, you can head over to patreon.com/BrianKSCole or through the link down below. That just helps supports me a little bit directly. I upload a lot of cool music and some other stuff over there as well, including early access to all my videos. Thank you all for watching. I hope you have a good one, and I'll see you next time.